The Assemble protocol is up. It's not just up a little bit, it's up 37% today alone. It did have quite a bit of a pump and dump. Let's have a look at what's behind all of this. Let's have a look at the data most people are not looking at. Now, here is that pump. We are currently at exactly 6 cents. But when we zoom out a little bit, we can see that the pump is just a little bit of a bounce from a huge pump and dump. But to me, it was no surprise whatsoever that ASM crashed. I actually made a video about this. Is the Assemble protocol crash coming? That was when the price was still more than double of today. And so initially, nobody was interested in that video. Nobody believed me. But then when the price actually went down, people started to tune in. So the blue line is the performance of that video. The gray area is the performance of a typical video. So if you want to be early next time to take profit, then maybe consider following channels like this. I publish videos regularly, as now with the follow-up on Assemble. Let's have a look at what's going on. Assemble behaves very similar to Yearn Finance. Yearn Finance had its pump and dump in November of last year. We also see similarities to Power Ledger. Here we had the pump and dump at the beginning of January of this year. And one might even argue that Teller isn't that different. That went from $260 to $100 at the end of January of this year. And so here's the big question, right? How will this continue for Assemble? Now, all of the crashes that we have just seen had been predicted on this channel. And I want to again share how I figure those kind of things out. Let's have a look at the data and let's look at who's buying, who's selling, who is driving the prices here. One thing that's always useful to look out for is trading volume on centralized exchanges versus decentralized exchanges. Because if a lot of trading happens on centralized exchanges, those centralized exchanges might manipulate the price, at least temporarily. And you want to monitor very closely what's the trading volume relative to the market cap. Now, the market cap of Assemble is 87 million. Now, the trading volume in the last 24 hours sums up to even more of that. On the spot market, in the last 24 hours, each and every coin has changed hands. Alternatively, right, one coin has changed hands several times, but a high trading volume relative to the current market cap is a potential red flag, especially if we do not see the same activity on chain. And with on chain, I mean, of course, the trading volume that happens on the blockchain in decentralized exchanges. Because that's the beauty of the blockchain, right? We have all the data transparently visible. We can see what is retail doing versus what are the whales doing. We cannot see this for the centralized exchanges, but let's have a look on chain for Assemble. The first thing to note is that the liquidity pools for ASM are incredibly small decentralized. We've got less than $100,000 worth of liquidity in liquidity pools on Uniswap. And so as a consequence, people are forced to buy this from the Coinbases of this world. But it wasn't always like that. Let's look at the number of holders that are retail investors versus that are whales. Who's accumulating, who's selling? To answer this question, I have built a tool and I make this available to the premium members. It's thebitcoinstrader.com. Link is down below. On the left side, we've got the number of wallets that hold at least 10,000 Assemble protocol tokens. So at the current price, that's $594 roughly. We go at 10x for the medium chart, so that's now $6,000 roughly. On the right side, we've got $60,000. So small retail, medium-sized retail, and whales. Those are all long-term charts. They start in 2020. Here are the same charts for the last 30 days. The number of wallets isn't changing much at all. The whales might be accumulating somewhat. Medium-sized retail isn't doing anything. Small retail is rather selling. Isn't it interesting to see those kind of charts when this is the corresponding price chart? This doesn't seem to be aligning that well with this over here. And so I'm calling it again. I do believe that this price is massively manipulated by a few important people on those centralized exchanges. Maybe not the centralized exchanges themselves, but at least some market makers that use them. I want to bet on cryptocurrencies where I can actually see momentum by the masses, where I can see both retail people buying, but also the whales buying, where I can see a nice trend overall. This is not what we're seeing here with Assemble. Assemble is simply just a textbook example of market manipulation. And I don't think it's very wise to participate in this because usually the market manipulators, they tend to win. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. If you've got Telegram, feel free to join us. Link is down below.